So, Dan, 26th overall, and we're going to scroll through these at the bottom, and some of these names are a little frightening, to be honest with you. When you look at the 26th overall pick, not a number of them have hit. Now, Montez Sweat from the Redskins is pretty good. Calvin Ridley from the Falcons is really good. Then you get down to Paxton Lynch, Rashad Perriman. I mean, it's very much a mixed bag. It just goes to show you, a lot of times you're throwing a dart at 26.
Yeah, the draft has always been an inexact science. Browns fans don't need to be told about that. And when you get later and later in that draft, you're taking some chances on guys. And the nice thing is you're not looking for a quarterback. So you're not going to be taking Jordan Love. You're not going to be taking Paxton Lynch. What I'm seeing, though, with some of these guys is they've sort of had to go someplace else to find their success. Rashad Perriman actually finally kind of put it together, but he needed to get cut and get a chance in Cleveland before he had a chance. Takk McKinley is trying to do that this year with the Browns. It's just really difficult. And it's why really smart teams, we're finding more and more, and this is something the Ravens do a lot of, and they're as analytically driven as any team in football. The Browns are in this boat as well. It's why they like to have more draft picks to kind of throw more of those darts and see if they can hit. If everybody's hitting between 50 and 60% on their picks, the thinking is the more picks you have, the more guys you might be able to find.
Yeah, without question. Now, historically, number 26, the year the Browns left and moved to Baltimore, they picked a guy named Ray Lewis at 26. So that one worked out pretty well. If you can find a Ray Lewis at 26, you're doing something.
Right, is this where we make the case for just picking a linebacker at 26? Because it happened. It worked for the team that used to be the Browns back in 1999. You can get a really good player, and this is where a good GM gets tested. Andrew Berry's not going to hit on every pick. He's not going to hit on every free agent. He might miss on this number 26 pick. But this is where you get tested over time. When you have these opportunities, are you able to take advantage of them and continue to add good players to your roster over the long term?
Yeah, if you can hit at the back end of the first draft, you sustain success. That's how, the Steelers are perennially good. That's how the Ravens have become perennially good. You're hitting on the back half of the first round with your draft picks.
And you can look at some of these contenders and see what they've done. I mean, you mentioned the Steelers, and I mentioned T.J. Watt earlier. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a guy that the Chiefs picked last year that they really like at that running back position, and they knew they kind of needed that. So they went out and they addressed it. In Buffalo, they landed one of their top corners, Tre'Davious White, a few picks before the Browns picked in that same draft back in 2017. So you're going to be able to add guys, and it helps with this Browns organization that they know exactly what they need. They know they have veterans in place, so you're not picking a guy you're going to have to throw out on the field too early. And so you're going to really be able to do this the right way. Pick a guy at 26. If he's ready week 1 and he wins the job, great. But if he's not, then he can take some time because you've built this roster the right way.
Yeah, that's the advantage that the Browns appear to have now that they didn't have in years past. They know what system. By knowing what system, you know what kind of players you're looking for. That's the key to success for the Ravens and the Steelers drafting. And hopefully it appears Andrew Berry and this regime knows what they want.
Yeah, it's funny how kind of being together and being on the same page makes a difference, and how a GM going to the coach and saying, hey, what does your offense look like? Okay, let's bring in guys that look like that. And now he can go to Joe Woods. What do you need on that defense? It's not Andrew Berry sitting in his office drawing up plays on the whiteboard or anything like that. He's picking guys for the coaches who call the plays, who put the systems in place. And we saw it work really well on the offensive side of the ball last year. And I think we're going to see it work really well on the defensive side of the ball this year.